I wish that becoming a minimalist was as simple as buying a bunch of plants, but unfortunately, it's a little bit harder than that. With that said, minimalism doesn't have to feel overwhelming or intimidating, and that's why we're doing this video today. We're gonna break down 8 easy steps that you can take to start your minimalism journey or to get out of a rut if you are kind of stuck maybe midway through the journey and losing, your motivation. I am really excited about today's video because it's part of a playlist called Minimizing in May, where I and a bunch of fellow minimalists are going to share all of our tips on how you can get started on your minimalism journey. So if you're ready and excited for that, watch my video and then check out the playlist, which I leave linked down below, to see all of the other creators as well. So the first thing that I love to start with is a vision. And the vision doesn't have to be something that's immediately achievable. It should be something like your North Star, something that you're aiming for and it's gonna guide you and motivate you no matter where you are today. So forget about how messy everything is right now in your home or how much clutter you may or may not have. Let that all go and simply focus on what you'd like to bring into your life. You can do it in however way that you want. You can write what you'd like your life to look like, or you can actually go on places like Pinterest or Instagram and really be inspired by visions of what you'd like your space to look like and your life to look like. I personally love to go on Pinterest because I love how all of the pictures connect to each other. So you can kind of go into this rabbit hole of picture after picture after picture. And something that I realized while I was doing that is that I love spaces that are white and then also have some wood mixed in. And the interesting fact is that before doing this exercise, I didn't actually realize that that's what I liked. I always kept buying really colorful furniture and I thought that that's what I wanted. But then the space looked kind of like cluttered in some ways and all the colors didn't really fit with each other. But now that I know that white and wood are things that actually make me feel peaceful, I'm able to create a space that I actually love being in and that is giving me so much energy and just honestly, the whole atmosphere is so calming. And every time that I come into my office now, I just feel like I can take a deep breath and it's amazing. So yeah, I highly recommend doing this exercise on Pinterest. But if you're the type of person who likes to write things down, that's totally fine as well. Oftentimes, when we think about minimizing, we will immediately just go to thinking about our physical spaces. And while that's a fantastic thing to simplify, there's so many other areas of your life that you can look at. I personally like to look at 5 different areas: the way that I spend my days, my relationships, my digital life, my physical environment, the objects that I own, and also how I spend my work productive time as well. So you can use whatever areas of your life that you would like to measure, but having different things that you're looking at will really help you make sure that you do this in a very holistical way. Once you have identified which areas are important to you, it's time to assess them. So I like to give each area a score from 1 to 5, where 1 is like pretty bad, feeling pretty overwhelmed, pretty cluttered, would be like the way that I would characterize 1. And then 5 is like a deep breath, it's ideal, it's really like simplified, relaxing, the best of the best of the best. So now that you assessed each area, it's time to figure out which 1 to 2 areas you would like to focus on first. And typically, you would want to give yourself at least 6 months to make sure that you really have time to focus on these 2 areas and improve them. One thing I will say is that it might be tempting to focus on the areas where you had the lowest scores, and sometimes that is the right way to do it. But other times that could be overwhelming or maybe not that valuable, because maybe those areas, even though they're like really, really cluttered and not minimized at all, maybe they don't impact your life as much, and so you can actually do them later. So the way that I recommend that you prioritize things is to prioritize things that are going to have the biggest impact to your life, and then also to not get too overwhelmed with doing the hardest thing first, because sometimes then you just give up, and then if you give up, then you're not gonna simplify any area of your life. So for myself, one of the areas that I chose is decluttering my space. Even though my space is pretty okay right now, and especially my office, I'm really, really happy with how it's turning out. But still, I noticed that if my environment is really minimized and calm, then it makes a huge difference to the rest of my day. And so that's why I want to prioritize it. Something that I, could definitely work on a lot, but that I chose not to invest in right now is my digital life. Even though it's an absolute mess, and if I showed you my computer, you would probably cry because there's so many files everywhere. But at the same time, it doesn't impact my life as much, and I feel like I can always find the things that I need somehow without too much trouble. So I will leave that to a later time, maybe later this year or whenever I have a little bit more time to minimize things. But right now, I'm gonna focus on my physical space. I'd love to hear what you are focusing on, so definitely leave it in the comments down below. And yeah, I'm super curious to see what each one of you is prioritizing and why. Okay, so now that we know what we're doing, let's focus on how we're doing it. Number one, start small. I think it's really important to do that so that you don't get overwhelmed, especially if you're somebody who gets easily overwhelmed. Definitely start small. And small can look different for different people. For some people, they can start with one room, but other people will want to go even smaller than that, and that's totally fine. So for me, I actually started with my closet, and then I further broke it down into categories of my closet, because the closet itself, it just felt too overwhelming to do that all in one day. And I'm really happy because even though it's like a gradual thing, every time that I do another video, I declutter a little bit more of my closet and there's more space, and it's just turning out really well. But it's been a process, and that's totally fine. If you're interested in doing something similar, actually, I do encourage you to check out my videos. I have a decluttering series where I go through different parts of my closet and then other items as well. The next thing I'm going to talk about is going to be tops and skincare. So definitely check that out and subscribe if you're interested. I will leave it up here. I also found it's really helpful to put some quick wins under your belt. So going back to the example I was giving before about decluttering my closet, I'm really happy with how I went about it, where I started with jackets, because jackets are super duper bulky. And so what I found is that as soon as I got rid of half of my jackets, the whole closet completely changed, and suddenly I was able to see my clothes again. And it was such a different experience. So when you are thinking about your decluttering journey, always try to think about what is something that if I declutter that thing, that specific item or category, that it would make such a huge difference and that your whole life would just look way better. Each one of us is different. Some people like to dive in, and with minimalism, that could look like decluttering your entire home in one weekend or something like that. But other people can get easily overwhelmed, and something like that just doesn't work for them. I am definitely one of those people, and I want to talk to other people who, like me, maybe are hesitating from starting a more simple lifestyle because they're feeling very overwhelmed. So to that I say, it's totally fine to just pace yourself and keep that consistency and just do a little bit each day. So we're already starting with a little area of our life, maybe a little category, something small, and then we can go even further and break it down into, okay, now that we have this thing, every day. Maybe we'll do 10 minutes. And that's it. You can put a little bit of fun music behind, what you're doing, like as a background to just motivate you, and maybe dance along, and whatever makes it more fun for you to actually keep going. And then just put the timer on 10 minutes each night before you go to bed, or each morning, or whatever is convenient for you. And then you'll see that in 1 month or so, your whole place and your whole life is gonna look different. And you won't even have noticed that you were doing something each day. You won't even feel the burden of it. You'll just see the results of it. One more thing you can do to keep yourself motivated is to write everything down and track your progress. For me, there's multiple reasons why I love doing this. Number one is that way I won't forget the parts that I need to declutter, because I feel like sometimes I can get easily distracted. Like maybe I'll start cleaning something and then I'll go like to a different room and start cleaning there, and then I'll forget that I was doing something in the first room. And so anyways, for people like me, if you have the attention of a squirrel, or even if you don't, it's really nice to just write everything down, all the things that you want to simplify, and then you'll never forget. And then this way also, if you're doing it on a different day, you can easily just pick it back up, especially if you're doing the 10 minutes a day thing. You can say, okay, today I'm doing this one task. Tomorrow I'm doing this other task. Every day I know exactly what I'm doing so that I can use my 10 minutes in the best possible way. And then last but not least, I love crossing things out. It just gives me so much satisfaction. I can be like, I did this, and then this, and then this. Yay! So yeah, that's another thing that could help you keep you motivated. Try it out and let me know if you like it. It's also critically important that you celebrate your successes. I feel like too often we just go from one milestone to another milestone to another milestone without ever recognizing that, hey, we actually are doing some really cool work. So with you, I really encourage you to give yourself a reward every time that you declutter a new area of your life. And it could be something really simple and small. Like for example, maybe it's a nice self-care day, and maybe it's just about, putting a nice face mask on or something like that. But it could also be more elaborate, like maybe going on a weekend getaway with somebody that you love, or a best friend, or your family, and just having a really nice experience there. Whatever you do, try to resist the urge from going on a shopping spree. I know for me, this is something that I really grew up with. That with my mom, we would always have so much fun going shopping, and that was a little ritual. And we wouldn't necessarily always buy things, but we would go to these stores that have like pretty cheap things, like fast fashion type things, and then we would just try things on, and that was just how we bonded. So I kind of have to retrain myself now and think about, okay, if I want to be with people that I love or reward myself, what are things that I can do that don't involve going to a mall in the old days, or now like shopping online or things like that. But how can I actually make it into an experience that's going to give me something that I really love and that I get to keep as a memory in my heart. Hey, thank you so much for watching. It means so much to me, and I'm so happy to see that our family keeps growing and growing. I love to see your comments as well. It really keeps me going and makes me want to create even more content for you. Let me know what else you'd like to see, as I love to make videos that you want to see that are helpful to you. And other than that, thanks so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Ciao!
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up.